Dune Awakening is more of a survival game than it is a role playing game. However, they did put in a pretty significant storyline, and I think they did a great job. Having finished all of the current storylines up to this point, I can tell you that it was one of the more compelling narratives that I've done in a long time, especially since it really did do a good deep dive into Dune lore, not just the stuff from Frank Herbert, but the newer things by Brian Herbert and Kevin Anderson. And it was all around pretty amazing stuff. I had a great time. I highly recommend that if you have the chance, get through that stuff. It's really cool. I don't want to give away any spoilers, so I won't, but I am going to say this. It was very interesting that about 3/4, maybe a little further the way in, I just felt like I'd been slapped in the face, and I felt like I should have guessed something that I didn't. They completely fooled me, and that was awesome. So one of the best things that can ever happen is to just be totally surprised and in a pleasant way by a story, and I was. There were so many clues leading to what ended up happening, and it just was super fun to have those come true at the end and me go back and think, oh my goodness, I should have had that based on these different events. I thought it was pretty emotional. It got you invested in a bunch of characters. Probably the biggest thing that sucked was the fact that this is a survival game, so they couldn't focus entirely on that story. But had they, I think it would have even been better. That's about the only thing I wish, is that we would have had more of it. And that's always a good thing. Of course, the story doesn't end here. As you probably could guess, they want to continue it on. They've got lots of plans. The game's only been out for like 14 days at this point. So having finished things doesn't really mean much, considering that there is lots to come. But all that said, I think that this game has been an incredible surprise, especially with things like a really elaborate story that was super fun and great cutscenes, great characters, and all around they handled the new timeline wonderfully. So anyway, if you haven't had that chance yet, give that story a try. Otherwise, I hope you're enjoying the game, and I'll talk to you next time. This is Robert with Society Case Files signing off.